Good morning, Pure Runners. Today is July 3rd, 2023. It is a Monday. It's just the day before our nation's birthday. I have to go to work today, and that's got to be a crime, right? In today's episode, we're talking all about gratuities and how the cruise lines choose to charge us. But first, let's take a sip of our beautiful coffee today. We got Timothy and David's coffee. This is the Northwestern blend. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. Okay. Let's talk about this. This has got kind of a minty taste to it. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't quite got the bite that I'm used to with a lot of coffees. Yeah, I don't know if this is normal for like a Northwestern. I don't know if I've had a Northwestern blend before. That's not too bad. I like it. We're going to give that a 7.5 for today. And yeah, I like it. This is something that I could actually add to my rotation. So not shabby. Now, you may have noticed we're only talking about really one topic, and that's a big one because it's something that's, changes every year, it seems now. We're going to be talking about gratuities, and we're going to kind of go off on a little bit of a tangent here, but we'd like to talk about the different cruise lines and how they charge us and why it's crucial for the staff on board. Now, I operate on the belief that workers on cruise ships deserve to be tipped and paid a fair wage. And it not only seems logical that these gratuities be included in the price of the ticket, but as an upfront cost as well, not just some sneaky add-on that you can just opt out of. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hot off the press. Celebrity cruise lines, they're raising gratuities by like 3% across the board. That happens on July 11th, folks. So that's coming up quick. And it seems like, it got me thinking when I read this article was that, and it's not breaking news. It got me thinking that this happens so often. There's so many times that we are just bombarded with all of these changes with gratuities, and it just seems to set everybody off when it happens, especially when it happens with Carnival or Royal Caribbean. People start freaking out. So what we're going to go ahead and do today is we're going to talk about gratuities, and this is I've got a simple fix, okay? Yeah, not everyone's going to like it. So everyone wants a cheap cruise. Everyone wants to see the lowest rates. And a lot of the ways that cruise companies show these lower rates is that they actually take out things in that price. So your typical add-ons to a cruise to that final price is going to be your taxes and port fees and then your gratuities. So you can opt in to prepay for your gratuities. And so it's interesting that people opt out of that because then, and I've done it. I've done it 100%. I've looked at it and go, oh my God, I'm bringing like 4 people on a cruise. I've got to pay nearly $300 per person for this. Oh, that's a lot of money. You leave it off. You don't think about it. You pay the cruise off. You get on board. You have a great time. And then one moment you get that paper right under your door, and then you go looking at it and you go, huh, where did that come from? And you know where it came from? It was because you didn't pay the gratuities. They'll add it on at the end of the cruise. Typically with Carnival, it's like the day before they throw it on there. And if you want to see the saddest sight, go to guest services on that last day and just listen to what the people are saying. There's so many people are just removing the gratuities off of their statements. And that's sad because these are people that chose not to pay those gratuities, received excellent service, and then decided not to tip. And to me, that's almost criminal, because a lot of people focus in on your room steward and your wait staff at main dining, and they say those are the people that took care of me the most and I'm going to only tip them. But then you don't think about all the people that washed your dishes, that picked up after you on the Lido deck, or cooked your food. And a lot of them rely on these gratuities to be spread out and be able to help them with their living wage. Now, there is a whole other side of the argument where you could say, well, these cruise lines need to pay a living wage. I think that Carnival, NCL, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Oceania, Virgin, I think everyone should be paying a decent living wage. And I think Virgin already does this to some extent. I could be wrong. I think they pay, you pay everything up front. But I really do think that because they've separated this, it's like they've separated that living wage. It should already be in the cost of things. It shouldn't be something you opt out of. The cruise lines separate it because it's gratuities and it's something that's extra, because they are paying them a wage, but it's not a great wage. So let's separate this a little bit out, make your cruise a little bit cheaper, and then kind of get you in the back end to pay for it once we've kind of hooked you. I think across the board, cruise lines should just go ahead and add the gratuities into the cost of the cruise up front, not something you can opt out of, and then continue to give everybody a set higher wage, because it's a lot easier to say that for cleaning rooms, I'm going to be making, $120 a day, because we know that everyone that's on board has booked and prepaid those gratuities because they had no other choice. And then on the flip side of things, people are still going to add additional tips to their room steward, their wait staff, and bartenders, and everyone else that they see that serves them personally and up front. But then by prepaying everything and not being able to opt out, you've also helped pay a living wage across the board. And a lot of people don't like the idea, like, ooh, I'm paying their wage. You book the cruise. No matter what, you're paying the wage. You're also paying the wage for the CEO and everyone else that works at Carnival. So by booking the cruise and buying things on board. So yes, in every way, not only are we tipping, but we are paying their wages. So I just don't get the argument that they should pay them more, but then you don't think that it should be added to the cost of the cruise. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's important to know, almost every single passenger is charged these tips, no matter what, if they're young or if they're old. Some cruise lines, however, do make exceptions for small kids, like Carnival not charging for tips for kids under 2. Norwegian, really? Cats? Really? Flinty? Ugh. And Norwegian cruise lines not charging gratuities for kids under 3. If you're asking how much you'll be charged in tips, the gratuity amount is usually full for your trip when you book the cruise. And if you ever feel like you've received poor service, you can adjust the amount of gratuities at guest relations on board the ship, although that's sad. On that note, our discussion today is aimed to shed light on the hardworking staff on board your favorite cruise line and the importance of gratuity payments as part of their livelihood. Because let's face it, they are the ones who make each voyage smooth, enjoyable, and memorable. Before we dock this episode, I hope the industry will consider including gratuities in their fees. That's making it more clear and transparent for those booking these vacations, and at the same time ensuring that the diligent workers on these cruise ships are appropriately rewarded for their efforts. Anyways, let me know down below in the comments what you think. I know it's a hot topic, and so I'm very open to discuss this. So let me know what you think. I will 100% respond. If you're listening on the podcast, just click the link in the description. It'll take you to the video. Anyways, guys, that's all we have for now. So stay tuned for more updates with Morning Brews and Cruise News. Make sure you're subscribed. My name is Trevor Shelby. Remember, folks, life is like a voyage. You never know where the seas may take you. So stay alert, stay caffeinated, and above all else, stay cruising. Smooth sailing, Pure Runners.